In this video, let's take a look at some of the other things that we can do with materials, some additional things that we can do with materials. So I've created this cylinder, just a basic cylinder in 3ds Max, and what I've done is I've just exported it as a FBX, and what I'm trying to do is I'm going to bring that cylinder into Lumion. It's just a basic cylinder. What I'm trying to use it for is to create a light for this. Now we have a luminaire, but we don't have the light here, so we need to add the light. And we could just add the lighting effect, but I want to have a physical light, a bulb really. So I want to add a physical bulb here, so let's do that. I'm gonna go into objects, gonna go import and find this light that I created, the FBX file of the light, and I'm just gonna rename this as light bulb, and we'll say OK. And this is my cylinder. It's nothing fancy, just a cylinder, and it's not where I want it to be, so I just need to move it now. Moving it is as you know, it's not the easiest thing in 3D programs. So let's just move it here, and I'm going to use my up down to move it somewhere here. I think that's fairly close, so we'll just orbit around it. Press O to orbit, and then I want to move it just a little bit inside here. Again, orbit around just to place it. Before I place it precisely, I'm just gonna scale it just a bit just to make it yeah, that's fine. And I'm gonna move it again. That's fairly close. I'm pressing O and using my right mouse button to move around. Now I have this this light bulb. What I want to do is I want to add a material, so I'm going to go into materials and I'm going to select my bulb. Let's move underneath and then select it, I think, because otherwise I'm selecting the bulb, the light fixture that we created. So I selected my cylinder, and I'm gonna go into Indo, and I'm gonna add a metal material. There we go. And now what I'm gonna do is, in Lumion there is this option to create emissive material. What it does is it creates a light sort of effect. It's not really a light, but it does create a light kind of an effect. First of all, I'm gonna save the changes, and then I'm gonna go back, and I would probably need to go inside and select it. Now when I select it again, you get all these different functions underneath, so you can change the colorization of it, how it's colored. You can see the preview of it. You can change the gloss, like so, reflectivity, how reflective it's gonna be, relief and such. Those things don't really matter to me. I'm only interested in this, and there are other things that you can do. If you have a map, you can change these, and I'm gonna show you weathering and foliage in a different using a different material. But what I want to do is I want to look at this emissive material, and when I increase it, as you can see, it creates this light effect. It looks like a light, and that's the effect that I want to have, right? And I can change certain factors here, specular, and yeah, I think those are the things that I can change. You can also have additional effects added, but that's basically how you create the emissive material. Let me just tone it down just a bit, and that's your emissive material. Now this looks like light, but it's not really a light. It's quite similar to the starburst, or the what's it called, the flare effect in Photoshop. It's just an effect, it's not really light, and it's not gonna light up your room. So let's save the changes and go to our weather, and I'm gonna change the time to night time. So as you can see, there is it's almost like a flare, right? It doesn't really cast any shadows or lighting effects, but it looks good. It shows you that it's a light. Okay. The next thing that we need to do is we need to add an actual light to this particular bulb that we created. So I can go here, objects, and I can go to lights and double click on the lights, and you can add any of these lights, light effects that you want. So you can also light Omni light if I wanted to, or you can add a spotlight, whatever you want. Let's add an Omni light, and again the placing is what's important. So let's orbit around it and see if the placing is right. It doesn't seem to be quite accurate, so I mean I need to just move it just slightly, and I don't need this. Oop. I need to slightly move it, so there you go. I think that about does it, I think, in terms of how the light is. Well, it's slightly offset, so you might want to change the location just a bit and refine it. It's fine. Let's go ahead and change the time of day and see how that affects our model. Now you see, now it's lighting up the room, unlike last time. It's lighting up the room. So that's how you add the light effect as well as the light. Now it's lighting up the room nicely. You see all the furniture and such, so it's lighting up the room, and that's how you add lights. And you can add different types of lights if you want. Let's bring it back to that. You can add different types of lights. So you can go in and so in order to select the light, you would need to go back to lights, and then you can even change the properties of the light. So if you want a different color of light, you can do that. You can change the brightness, the fall off of the light. As you can see, these things change. If you want a yellowish light, you can add that. So the emissive material still remains, right? That's what we want. And there are the factors that you can change, a randomized rotation. You don't need to worry about any of these, but you can change the brightness. And that's about lights. In the next video, let's take a look at how to add or change some other properties of the material as well.